Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and today I'm here with a new scrapbooking process video. Thanks so much for joining me here, and I hope you enjoy. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome, and I would love it if you would become a subscriber. You can also click on the notification bell so you always know when I have a new video up. Alright folks, let's get going! Hey everyone, so I was just about to do my January 2020 Kill a Kit video for my Scrapbooking Store kit, and then I realized I really wanted to go ahead and scrapbook this photo. I also really wanted to use this piece of paper. I love a good wood grain. This is called Feelin' Frosty, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to make one more layout for this. Now, due to the fact, I don't know if you can hear it, I'm a little nasally, got a bit of a cold, so this might go up at the end of January, which is when I'd like it to go up, but it might be bumped back a little bit to the beginning of February. It just depends on how I'm feeling. All right, I'm going to go ahead, get you guys put on fast forward and work with the Winter Farmhouse line from Simple Stories, which is what the January 2020 kit was made up of, along with the embellishment upgrade of die cuts, enamel dots, and then these really pretty silver glitter small alpha stickers. So, before I do that, two things. One, all the information for scrapbookingstore.com will be in the description box below, including my affiliate link. So if you would like to subscribe or make a one-time purchase, if you do it through my affiliate link, it just gives me a bit of commission. Second thing, if you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. It always helps to have engagement from my audience, help grow my YouTube channel. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get going. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I am going to use that full-size wood grain paper that I mentioned called Feelin' Frosty as my background, and then I'm going to be using the 4x4 elements page as well as several scraps that I forgot to pause to say what their names are. So I do apologize for that, but it is the checked piece, the yellow and cream checked piece right there, as well as a couple others that we'll talk about as I start to use them. So when Ms. Xanthi is taking care of any little very small paper scraps I have. So this layout went through several design iterations. At first, I was going to do just keep the 4x4s in place and kind of cover the center one with that with the photo, and then I decided I want to bring in more pattern paper, and I had that one already torn, so I had a couple already torn, so I went ahead and layered those over. And then I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going to mat my photo on this cream wood grain with floral and pine cones and stuff, but you're not going to read it as floral because I'm just making it a very thin mat. And then I thought I needed more red in there. My nephew's little friend is wearing red, so I thought that would be a good color. What's funny is in the end, 90% of this strip of red is going to be covered by other things. It's just one of those, like I said, the design keeps changing. So, unfortunately, it changed right over top that red strip. So I'm going ahead and getting rid of my branding strips on both of those pieces of paper. Now, I probably could have trimmed this paper up, but at most I would have gotten like 2 inches, so I didn't really think it was worth it. If I had had a full sheet of paper, then I would have obviously trimmed it out, but because I was using the majority of it, I just went ahead. So here I am, and I split that red paper so it would be going all the way across, but everything left of the photo is going to be covered up. Oy vey. So what I decide is, rather than using both of these 4x4s, what I really want is the Baby It's Cold Outside with that yellow trim around it. I liked the idea of a framed phrase. So I trim that down to 3.5 by 3.5, and then I'm going to take some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I really like the Stampin' Up! Ones because they are very thin, so it's not as high as some of the other Pop Dots. I'm going to go ahead and ink up everything in Gathered Twigs. Basically because I wanted, when I trimmed up the Baby It's Cold Outside, it was very white. And since the majority of the colors here are quite cream, I just didn't want that white there. And I figured, well, if you're going to go ahead and do that, you might as well go ahead and do all of it, because that's what my brain was thinking at that moment. So here I am inking up all of the pieces and then going ahead and gluing them together. So this photo obviously is quite old. My nephew is now 19, and in this photo he is just turned, no, not just turned, he is about to turn 5, I believe. So it was a very snowy day, and this is a longtime friend of his. In actuality, this is the son of the woman who introduced me to scrapbooking. Now, she was not a scrapbooker. She wanted to make a scrapbook of her wedding, and that's the only scrapbook she's ever made. But it introduced me to scrapbooking, so fun fact, there you go. So I originally had thought about putting this 3x4 card with the house on it, where I'm going to do my journaling, down in the lower right hand corner, but it just didn't feel right there, so I did end up putting it all the way over on the left, which, as you can see, covers up almost all of that red piece of paper. And I am using several of the die cuts over there. That is going to cover up quite a bit of the red. I am, however, going to bring more red in, so I don't feel like it's a total loss. I mean, obviously that left-hand side is, but sometimes that's what happens. Them's the breaks sometimes. So, oh yes! News, people! I finally bought a new T-square ruler. Yay! It only took 4.5 months for me to finally remember at a point where I could actually purchase one. It's always one of those things where you think about it at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, oh, I need to get a T-square ruler. But when you're in Joann's or you're in Michael's or you're on Amazon, you don't think about it at that point. So finally, the two coincided where I could purchase one, and it was a good time to actually do it. So yay, I finally have a T-square ruler. I am so happy. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm building a cluster in the lower right hand corner. I've torn a couple more pieces of paper. I'm using my ruler so it's a more straight edge tear, just because I didn't want it to be large, and when I try tearing small pieces of paper like that, I always end up tearing it where it tears off completely. So I just figured using the ruler would be a far better thing. That's where it's going to end up being a shelf for my title, as well as for some embellishments. I'm adding a couple of tab stickers above my photo. And right now there's that weird gap right above the Baby It's Cold Outside sign. I will be filling that with other things. I do layer several stickers that are buckets of pieces of wood and stuff, as well as a winter boot. And I decided I really wanted to add that little red cardinal because it is so cute to the top of the file tab stickers. So I am finally going to be doing my title. I'm going to use the mini silver glitter alpha that came in the kit for the word buds, and then I pull out the alpha from last month's kit, which is a wood grain, and so my entire title is going to be Snowbuds, which I thought was cute and punny, and that's how I kind of like my titles most of the time. If you guys can hear it, it is pouring outside, so if you hear random noise in the back, that is what that is. So I'm not super happy with how short my paper is in comparison with my title, so I add that wreath sticker and then I layer several phrase stickers over that, and that just elongates that piece at the bottom so it doesn't look like that S is hanging out in the middle of nowhere. So I pull a couple more die cuts. I pull that sled die cut because I don't know if you can see it or not, that orange thing in the back, that actually is a sled. The backyard actually where we lived at the time, the backyard had a hill, so they would go sledding as well as just randomly playing together out in the snow. And so I'm just writing some journaling about that, and then what am I doing now? I do not remember. Oh, I'm adding, so I had found that die cut that had the little house, tree, and snow scene, and I had that down at the bottom below the title, but I wasn't happy with the size of it. I then found a larger version of almost the exact same thing, so I moved the smaller one up above the winter sticker, and then I added the larger one down below. I'm finishing off my layout with a bunch of enamel dots because I love them so why not use them? Alright folks, that is going to finish off my layout. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, if you have any interest in looking at stuff for scrapbookingstore.com, all of the links, including my affiliate link, is in the description box below. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.